Well, hello. If you like autumn colour or spring flowering, then Winkworth Arboretum is definitely the place to go. This is a wonderful route. We can start anywhere around Woking and we head down towards Winkworth Arboretum. As long as you're a member, you can get in for nothing. The route is fairly easy. It's about 55k both ways, but it's almost no climb, and you can do it on any bike that's capable of handling some of those slightly more gravelly paths of the Downs Link and the Greenway. There will be a couple of urban places in Woking and Guildford, so do be careful there, but we'll show you how to minimise that impact. And you'll be about 3 to 4 hours on the bike and then a couple of hours walking around the gardens, but it's a great day out and it's really lovely cycling, so let's get on with it straight away. So this is us leaving Bisley and Knapp Hill. So we're heading through the centre of Knapp Hill. You can avoid this if you can get onto the canal elsewhere. So we're just heading off up Victoria Road, having done a bit of Lower Guildford Road. And we're heading up towards Winston Churchill School, so down Victoria Road, then along beside Barratt Path in St John's. And we're going to go towards the canal, but we're not actually going to join the canal. You can do if you want to take you further up towards Triggs Lane, but instead we're going to follow Goldsworth Road, the old Goldsworth Road. Now you could take an alternative as shown here on the map via Hook Heath. So we're heading along the Goldsworth Road and we're going towards the Triggs Lane roundabout. We just cut that little corner off, we go under the bridge. This can sometimes get a little bit busy at times, but not too much of a worry if you time it right. Then we head down towards Old Woking on Wych Hill Lane, and then we're following round. And you can see here we're staying, it's a shared cycle path and footpath. Quality of the surface is good, the traffic is moderate, and now we're heading into Westfield Road in Westfield and now leaving there, and we're heading towards Sutton Green and Jacob's Well. So this is New Lane, and then that sort of merges into Sutton Green Road. Quality is good, there is minor traffic, we really are on a very much a back road here. So as we head along, just have a look really either side. It's very, very peaceful, and although you do get the odd car trying to whiz past, it is a very gentle back road that is really only in use during the rush hour. So as we're heading towards now Jacob's Well and we turn a few corners, we're actually in Clay Lane now, so we've come through Jacob's Well, and you can cross the road as we have done and get onto the cycle track that runs alongside that busy road that connects with the A3. But we're now going to turn sideways down this little lane and join up with Riverside Nature Reserve, which follows alongside the Riverway. It's a bit of a floodplain. So that was Bowers Lane, as you can see. But we head through here now. The surface is gravel, it's a little bit muddy and occasionally you get walkers there, but it's not a problem really, even for a hybrid bike, and probably not too much of a problem for a road bike. So we head through here, very peaceful, and it's generally very level and it's quite covered in trees. We just go under the A3 there, as you can see, and now we're heading up towards the London Road. So we come out by the Spectrum there and then cross over into Stoke Park. You may have to wait at the traffic lights. So we head through Stoke Park, and that is a designated cycle path, and then we get onto the London Road down here, and you'll see that there's a cycle path along the left hand edge. It's not ideal because you're not separate from the traffic. And then we just cut out across into York Road and follow round. Now you don't have to take this route, and I've shown you a double route there because at other times, instead of coming up as we are now in Onslow Street, you could go up the High Street and cut out a lot of this. But we're now out on the 281, going past the Ivan Arno Theatre. We go back onto the cycle path that's there, so again another shared cycleway, and then we're going to drop right down into the park. And now this is a cycle path, footpath, that runs along the park for quite a considerable way, and we're not really going to go back on road until we get into Bramley. So this is very peaceful. We gradually drop away from the road. Now we got to this bit and they were doing some building work and they closed it off, but the cycle path continues down there, so we just had to head out back onto the street, and it's only about 100 metres, and then we can turn back round and carry on our journey, which again is to say is off-road virtually all the way to Bramley. Surface is good, mixed surface. You do have to take a few paths and it gets wider and then narrower. At this point we're just going to cross over this bridge, and then we go just behind this block of offices here, past that raised grain store, a few dog walkers, and keep following the cycle path. So this is the Greenway and then into the Downs link. So we're just going to cross the road, follow this bit of cycle track, and now we're heading off towards Bramley. Now the Downs link is an exceptionally good route, and we recommend doing the whole thing. It can take you all the way down to Shoreham near Brighton. But we're going to follow it along here and head towards Bramley and Warnosh station, and when we get there that's where we rejoin the road. So here we are at the station. That's another great place to start if you want to. So we turn right past the public school. Watch out for drop-off time because it can get quite busy there. And then we just go straight across this little mini roundabout and we're heading up the hill. And we're now in the Surrey Hills. And from now on, we're on quiet back roads and you'll probably hardly see anybody. Very, very few cars down here. Partly because it's so narrow that they have to slow down to cross each other. So this is a wonderful road that really shows up what it can be like riding in the Surrey Hills. Beautiful big houses. Sometimes the hedges are raised up like they are here and you don't get good views, but the quality of the road surface is excellent, as it always seems to be where the rich and wealthy live. There are a few hills in this section, but none of them are in any way particularly challenging, but there is a little bit of rise and fall. But most of the climbing that you'll do, and the commute says it's about 500 metres. So we're now heading up the final section really into Winkworth Arboretum. And here we are, and you can see just glorious colours and things. I've not touched the colour here, but that's how it is. And it's a wonderful place to go at any time of the year. In the spring, you get wonderful rhododendrons and azaleas. In the summer, it can be very peaceful underneath the shade of all the trees. And it's a lovely place to be. The water is there, and a wonderful boathouse. In the autumn, we've got this fabulous autumn colour and the gold. And in the winter it's quite a wonderland. They often put on various different displays. I think this year it's going to be Alice in Wonderland. We head up this staircase. This is glorious in the spring. There's azaleas and rhododendrons all around, and the colours are absolutely fabulous. A little bit more subdued now, but you have to keep your eyes looking up towards the trees. So if you've never been there, it is definitely worth a visit at any time of the year, but particularly spring and autumn. If you do take your bike, please do remember to check in at the desk at some point. They need to know that you've arrived, and the gardens get a little bit of money for every person that checks in. Here we are past a wonderful dissected Japanese maple. Look at that for colour. Just everywhere you turn there's fiery reds, golden browns and wonderful rich colours. And the colours leap out at you from all sorts of directions. And keep sniffing the air for the katsura tree. That is a wonderful, wonderful smell. Sort of toffee and drifting on the breeze. If you cycle there, of course, you're pretty hot by the time you arrive, so you don't even need to wrap up in the winter. And you can't really beat a bit of beech woodland. Glorious views. And now we're going to head back. Now I'm just going to show you that bit around Guildford. So here we're just heading up the High Street. So that's the lower of those two routes that you can see there. And it just cuts you straight back on to the London Road. And there's almost no traffic here because it's closed off throughout most of the day and only reopening now. So we're now back on the London Road and it made it very easy heading into Stoke Park. And here we are going round Woking again, and this time we're taking the lower route, the one to the left that you can see, and we're going to head up through Hook Heath, which is very quiet. So over that railway bridge, sometimes you have to wait a little while for the lights to change. And then Hook Heath is generally very quiet, and again it's a very smart area, so the road quality is excellent, and we can just head back, usually into St John's. So we come up through St John's and we're back home. So if you want to find the download of this route, then we have it available as a GPX file that you can get from our Komoot page. So that's Paul and Diane on the Tandem, and we really look forward to seeing you on some other rides, but this one's glorious. Definitely recommend it, and I'll be pushing this one next autumn. Till then, bye for now.